is going on? Everybody, welcome to what is the official last proper stream, or normal stream as I would call it. The one that we do every week before the game week starts. Although this week I do have 3 streams planned for Sunday. I've also got a really bad feeling that my internet will fail on Sunday as well. But we shall see how it goes. So yeah, welcome. Not as many people in so far, probably because it's still a couple of days until the deadline, and it's Friday. For anyone that's been watching the streams for a long time, I used to actually stream on Fridays instead of Thursdays. I'm not really sure why, in hindsight. It actually made very little sense, apart from the fact all the press conferences were done. But yeah, Friday stream. Here we go. Apologies, it's a bit later than planned. Stuff, gym, food, etc. Why is there so many streams for Sunday? So, I'm going to be staying in because I want to do a stream during the matches. Hopefully something dramatic happens. I can just imagine it will still be 0-0 in every game at half-time, and it'll be a nightmare. But look, we can talk about whatever on that stream. And then a deadline stream, so about only like a quick half an hour one between half 1 and 2. Just to get in all the last minute questions before the transfer made. I'm not going to make my transfers till the last minute because there could be team news and stuff. So no live transfers tonight for sure. And then probably a review stream on Sunday. I just want to get it done really. I think while it's fresh in the mind, people have finished their leagues, we can chat about that. Not everyone will be happy, but there'll be a lot of happy people. So we'll do that Sunday evening, probably about 9 o'clock. And then that'll be it for this season, basically. There'll probably be... I might do a couple of videos. Especially about like end of season season predictions and stuff like that, how I did. So there might be some shorter videos, but that'll be it after Sunday for the proper stuff. And most people will lose interest after that anyway. So anyway, let's get on with this. Yes, there's no live transfers, but there will be polls. So if you click on the top right corner, there is 5 polls, I believe. I actually remember to do them this time. Your game week 38 captain, obviously, obvious one. The best Sun replacement, best cheap forward for game week 38. Who will win the league? I mean, obviously I know Man City are favourites, but maybe people are thinking other miracles going to happen, like in the Champions League. And is Mason Greenwood a viable punt? So we didn't actually get too many poll requests this week, but one of them, or 2 of them, I think, were about Mason Greenwood. So, yeah. Is he a viable punt? Looks like he might play. Will he start? No one really knows. Looks like Lukaku might be out. So Rashford, you'd imagine, is the favourite to start up front. But maybe he just plays a lot more with the kids, even though Rashford is basically a kid. You're considering Redmond for captaincy. I mean, it's ballsy. I mean, I'm pretty confident he's going to start, and it's going to be a strong Southampton team. Excuse me. Bright, yeah, no, sorry about the block. Like I couldn't even tell you what it was for. So apologies for that. That was on me. But I'm glad you got in contact to get that sorted. Mason Greenwood might as well bring in Makeda. It was a Makeda, wasn't it? Didn't he score on his debut? Although Greenwood has played already. You've seen my route into the top 10k, and his name is Nathan Redmond. Yeah, I'm probably, this is a bad time to stream because I'm not completely decided on my transfers. Obviously, I'm going to wait for all the team news. Robertson's still a bit of a concern because Klopp has come out and said, I don't know the exact word, but from what people were saying on Twitter and stuff, that he's okay and that he should be fine to play, and that Firmino was out. But then I think it was the Liverpool Echo that reported that he hasn't trained, but because the game's on Sunday, I think they have another training session tomorrow. And you'd imagine, because the Champions League is what, 2 or 3 weeks away? I think it's 1st of June. You can imagine if they can play him, they will, because still a chance of winning the league. So I'm pretty confident about Robertson. I'm not really thinking about who to get in. I will probably get Laporte. Very boring. So I'm probably going to take a hit. Although part of me, Eriksen's going to play, you'd imagine. So do I really need to take a hit to get rid of him? But then the Spurs have been poor. Everton have been quite good. I think I'm just going to take Gameweek 38 chance to get rid of Eriksen, who's quite highly owned anyway, and get rid. So I'm going to be stuck with Lacazette, I think. Even though Callum Wilson, I really fancy a punt on him. I may just do it anyway. Take an additional hit and just go for it in Gameweek 38. I don't really have much to lose at this point. I think it's going to be tough to get in top 10k. I'm probably not going to fall outside the top 25k. So we'll see. Who plays if Robbo does not? I mean, they could just put Milner there. I think he'd do fine. I mean, he's done it before, right? Excuse me. I don't want to do too much kind of end of season, like talk as if the season's already over, because we're going to do that a lot on Sunday, I'd say. But I mean, FPL player of the season, surely I'll let you say in the chat who it is. I'm sure you know who I will say. Let's see if everyone gets it right. If I took anyone out for Wilson, it would be Lacazette. I mean, if I really wanted to be risky, if I really wanted to take a punt, I would keep Lacazette and do Jimenez to Wilson. And yes, of course, Wilson, by far my player of the season. Now, there's a lot of shouts for Robertson, and I think that's a fair shout because he's the first defender to get past 200 points. Although, like Buses, so has Van Dijk now. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has played 2-3-7-0, 2-3... He has played... I can't do maths. He's played like 700 or 800 minutes less, which is like what? 7 games? 7-8 games? Maybe even more. I'm not going to sit here and work it out. Equivalent to 7 or 8 games. And he's only 37 points behind. That is insane. So points per match, Trent's actually higher. So I like the Robertson shout. He's been so consistent all season. But I just think Liverpool clean sheet potential, a lot of people were on him from the start. I think a lot of people saw that was going to happen. Yes, the assists were a nice addition. And obviously for, what was he, 6 million to start? Yeah, 6 million for 207 points is amazing. So I wouldn't discount Robertson, but Jimenez, 5.5 million, which I guess is only 0.5 less than Robertson, to be fair. But 179 points for a striker. Only 16 points less than Aguero. So Jimenez for me, for sure. Next year's the year for triple captain. Yeah, that's the year I'll get it right. Since I've already won my league, I'm going to punt on Greenwood. Yeah, I mean, that's for my first 3 seasons of FPL. That's basically what happened with me. I wasn't really into overall rank. I wasn't doing any like content on YouTube and stuff. I was mostly just posting on Fantasy Football Scout. And so I used to play in one mini league, apart from like the Scout one, which I was never going to win, with my mates. And I used to always be, for the most part, like 80 to 100 points clear by kind of the last 3 or 4 weeks. So I used to just take punts and hits like they were going out of fashion. So I could have, if I were as worried about rank as I am now, I'd probably have higher ranks for the first 3 years, but I'm not going to complain about what they were. So I think a punt, if you're not worried about rank and you want to go for a massive punt, you've won your league, go for it. Either it doesn't pay off and you've won the league anyway, or it pays off massively and you're on top of the world. Have I learned anything from this season's FPL? Did I write some stuff down? I've already got a really long list of videos for next year. That's the thing, like, I talk about the break, but I'm already planning for next year. Let's see if I wrote anything down. Can't remember if I did now. Oh yeah, I wrote down Laporte is a must-own in double game weeks. Did I learn everything? I mean, I kind of said on Twitter the other day, I don't know if I ever really learned anything. Because I think every season can be different. Like, a lot of people are saying, well, Trent and Robertson are in my team from game week 1, but what if they're both 7.5 million pounds? That's a lot of money on defenders. Even if they're going to score 200 points, it's a lot of money on defenders. Your son's Salah move over Christmas was a disaster. Yes, it was. Okay, let's see if we can get some Game Week 38 questions. I mean, as always, I'll chat about what you want to chat, but it is a Game Week 38 stream. Pogba or Redmond? I feel like this is the most indecisive I have been all season. It basically boils down to, do you think Man United are going to be as bad as they have been for the last few weeks against Cardiff at home? Cardiff, who are 100% relegated, last match in front of the home fans. I mean, for someone like Pogba, maybe it was last match in front of the home fans. Redmond is like frustrating for me because I don't think he's got that quality necessary in front of goal still. I think he's got room to improve for sure. But it's Huddersfield, who are also really poor. I don't know. I mean, you're banking on penalties, I suppose, a bit with Pogba. He did hit the bar twice and go forward. I almost feel like I would side with Redmond. But if I bought one of them, I'd probably buy Pogba. I know that sounds stupid. They've been so bad, though, Man United. Like, so bad. It was painful watching them against Huddersfield. Like, in the first half, they had a lot of the ball, but they didn't really create anything good. No real quality chances, and there was loads of flicks and back heels and stuff, but just didn't work. I think I'd side with Redmond just about. Anyone could take a penalty in 38. Yeah, possibly. Again, it is. I don't want to sit here and keep saying it because it's boring, but it is very difficult to predict Game Week 38 when there's not much to play for. Like, even, I've said it already on the Scoutcast and stuff, but even like Man City and Liverpool, you know, they both need wins, but that's all they need. They don't need to go and win 4-5, 6-0. If Man City get an early goal against Brighton, will Brighton just collapse? Potentially. If Brighton can get a 0-0 going into 45 minutes, will Man City panic? Quite possibly. And maybe they'll start rushing stuff, and maybe when they get their goal then they'll sit back. So I think so much depends on that first goal between Liverpool and Man City. I think if Man City score it, then Liverpool, you've got to think their heads might drop. Although, given what's happened in the Champions League and the comebacks and stuff, you never know, I suppose. Why will Man United suddenly turn things around? I don't necessarily think they will suddenly turn things around. You know, maybe if some of them want to fight for their places, but why have they not already been doing that? Could be a difficult game and the crowd may turn. Yeah, I don't think the crowd will turn because it's done now. I don't think there'll be like booing and stuff unless they go 1 or 2-0 down, of course. But you're right. I don't know if they will suddenly just turn it around. Man City will get as much as they can. You say that, but they've only scored 5 goals in the last 4 games. Now the fixtures have been tough enough, I think. Let me just have a quick look. Who do they have? Leicester, Burnley, Man United and Spurs. So yeah, I mean they scored 2 against Man United, 1 against Burnley, 1 against Leicester, 1 against Spurs. So Brighton, obviously different kettle of fish, but it's also a completely different game. Man United will want to come 5th instead of 6th. Maybe. I'm not sure that's a massive concern once you miss out on top 4. I mean, I think, does the qualifying not only matter if Watford win the FA Cup? Yes, I'm doing a deadline stream. Why am I not Captain Aguero? So, I may change this. I've been thinking about it. But right now, my thought process is, rightly or wrongly, if you look at a lot... In fact, let's just check one now, right? Let's check the Fantasy Football Scout Captain's Poll. So this is usually a pretty good indication of what people who are active are going to do. So Aguero is 28.51%. So he's the top choice right now. Sterling is 18.19%. Salah is 12.33 and then Mane is 11.2. So we'll see how that corresponds with our own poll at the end of the stream. So basically Aguero and Sterling are the top captains. So in a normal week, I mean, if in a normal week I would captain Aguero, I think. But in this one I'm kind of chasing, and I think Mane's been so good at home and so is Salah, that if people are going to be drawn to Aguero and Sterling, that's what most of the top 10k will do. You know, maybe 50% plus will captain those Man City players. Then captaining Mane is a differential, and it's not the worst differential to have. Now, Wolves are no pushovers, don't get me wrong, but they've also got nothing to play for now. They've got 7th spot wrapped up. So Mane is basically a differential for me. Now, the only other thing to take into account, which I'll bring up on FPL Discovery, give me just a second. Let's see what the actual ownerships are. Like, I'm talking top 10k here as well. So Aguero is owned by 77.9%. And Sterling's owned by 66.9%. So when you factor in captaincy for both of them, they're probably going to be close to 100% effective ownership. So one of two things is going to happen. They'll do really well, and that will give me absolutely no chance getting the top 10k. Or maybe it'll be a low scoring, like, bearing in mind a 1-0 win is good enough for them to win the league. I know that's not how they usually play, they just absolutely go for it, but a 1-0 win is fine for them. Obviously they'd want to be a bit more safe than that. But if they don't do anything, I'm basically betting on Man City to not score any goals, which when I say it out loud sounds stupid, but if that happened and Mane could get 1 or 2 or 2 attacking returns to go on an assist, then suddenly I'm up. So it's a risk, I know. But if captain Mane at home is a risk, then I'm kind of happy with that. I think I've got to do something to get into the top 10k. Now, once I make my transfers, I might have a rethink. Because if I go for... Because I was thinking about getting Sterling in. So if I get Sterling in, then I might be more likely to captain Mane. If I go really different, like Redmond plus some random midfielder I don't even know right off the top of my head, even Pogba would be quite low owned in the top 10k, then maybe I'll go for a bit of a... I don't even want to say safer captain, but basically I might just go for Aguero. Don't know. I might just go for it. Mane, Redmond, Pogba, job done. City will not... I'm not... Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're going to shut up shop at 1-0, but that is all they need. Is it possible that simply going template will be enough to get you in the top 10k? A lot of people around you will be trying to be different. Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I don't tend to go, as you know, I don't tend to go different for the sake of it, but I don't think Mane... Like, for me, Mane captain is not crazy different enough to be called that. Like, Mane, I think, is a viable captain option this week, regardless of who Man City were playing. And if he's going to be a differential as well, I think that's okay. It's not like captain in DFA. Do you know what I mean? Historically, how has Gameweek 38 treated you? That's a good question. And if I'm honest, I can't really remember. Last season was pretty rubbish. I guess the season I finished top 5k, it was good, but I can't remember what happened. Really don't have a good memory of Gameweek 38. Is 23 points too much to make up in a single game? We have to take a -4, so 27. I mean, it's difficult. It will be difficult, but it's doable for sure. I mean, we see people overturn kind of 40-point differences sometimes, but obviously it's going to remember... you got to remember... Sorry. You have to consider how much... how many different players you've got compared to them. Jesus, that was much tougher to get out than it should have been. The Crystal Palace Bournemouth game is going to be high scoring. Like, you think that's the game to target? Yeah, I kind of agree. Fraser's going to be, if he's playing on the left, he's going to be up against Wan-Bissaka. I wonder if that will hurt him a bit. But again, the last day of the season, who knows? I really do fancy Wilson. Just not sure if I'm going to go for it. You captain a Giroud hat-trick. Damn, that's nice on the last day. Fraser for Son and Vardy to Jimenez. Is that Vardy in for Jimenez for a -4? Chelsea a 12-point lead. I mean, I don't know if you need to get Vardy in for Jimenez for a -4. A quick fire. We might do a quick fire. There's a couple of things next season I want to do regularly on the streams, which I've also written down. One of them being quickfire and what's the other one? Something else which we'll talk about next year. Yeah, but will Van Aanholt even start? Mane's a valid captain pick, but it does represent a true boom or bust season pick. Yeah, true. Could play safe with Aguero. The thing is, for me to get into the top 10k, if I captain Aguero, I basically need my two new I basically need Deulofeu and my two new midfielders and Lacazette to go nuts because and Bednarak, I guess, but everyone else is template. So I'm relying on Lacazette, who has done nothing apart from score goals in Europe for me recently. My two midfielders and Deulofeu. And Deulofeu I just have no real faith in. I almost think I should just play Jota, even though I've got two Liverpool defenders. Deulofeu it feels like one of those frustrating players that should be good. Should be good more regularly, but isn't. And maybe that's just FPL, maybe it's because I'm looking at it from an FPL point of view only. Maybe he really helps Watford week in, week out, but yeah, it can be annoying. I'm 19 points off top 10k, I think. Will Van Aanholt play? I'm just having a look now. I don't know if anyone else is out. Who's been playing there? Ward, I think. Yeah, the problem with Van Aanholt, I don't know if Hodgson said anything, but Van Aanholt's missed 2 of the last 3 games. This run should be a regular thing. Got to drink less, not more. Yeah, I like Wilson or Fraser. I'm not so sure about buying Leicester assets. I agree they could definitely do something against Chelsea. And obviously Chelsea have just played 120 minutes. A lot of their players anyway. So they're going to be tired from Europe. And Sarri has said he's going to have to rest people. So arguably, yeah, you could go for Leicester players. But I just think Vardy, maybe this is the wrong way to think about it, but I've forgone him all season. And I've missed all the points. Against Chelsea, I just can't do it. It's not the kind of transfer I would make. Will Lucas Moura be risked with the Champions League final? I think the thing for me with the Champions League final is it is 20 days away. It's going to be 18 days away by the time they play. Just over 2 weeks. I think most players will play. Like I don't see. I mean, who can they even rest Lucas Moura for? Son can't play. Kane's probably not going to play. I think Lucas Moura plays, to be honest. Yeah, Salah captain could be the best captain this week. Lamella's back. Okay, fair enough. I still think Lucas will play. I don't know. Again, Spurs not much to play for. I think, is there still a chance they can not finish top 4? A very, very, very slim chance. They're on 70 points. Arsenal on 60. Okay, so it'd have to overturn an 8 goal difference. So probably not going to happen. But yeah. As a United fan, would you now prefer City or Liverpool to? I really don't care who wins. It's not good either way. They don't have to lose 8-0 though. I mean, they could lose 4-0 and Arsenal could win 4-0. Although then they'd be equal. Then it would come down to goals for, and Arsenal would still be behind. Zaha's latest home scores 2-2, 8-2. Wilson's latest away 16-15, 2-11. Yeah, he's been decent. What about Rondon? He's playing for him. He's good. Yeah, I mean, all these players you're thinking about could be options this week. I mean, Rondon and Perez have been in really good form for Newcastle, and they've got a really good fixture. So there's, from like an on paper point of view, it looks good. But obviously, it's away for Newcastle, so they've played their last home game. Nothing to play for. They're safe. You know, it's tough. Rondon's just been voted, I think, Newcastle Player of the Year. Has he got much to play for? I don't know. That's the really hard thing about this week. And yeah, you're right, Jay Kessel. Fulham have been pretty solid as late. Let's just do a quick shout out to the patrons. Obviously, not looking for people to sign up now. It's the end of the season, but got to thank all these lovely ladies and gents for all the support this year. So Dean P, Matchek, Gaz H, Melissa B, Tim W, Jansky, Scott S, Christopher M, Hayden H, and Matthew H. Thanks for all your support. I think I owe a prize for last month. I'll get to that this weekend. And obviously there'll be a prize after this month. After this weekend for May as well. It's only a short month. And yeah, we'll look into it next year if we're going to do it again. I'll have a look at it. I know I did a survey to find out what people thought. So we'll work on that and see. But yeah, thanks very much for all their support. And no point signing up now. We're at the end of the season, you know. Aguero's going for the golden boot. Yeah, true. But you'd imagine the title was more important. Like I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to know. I'm going to say that so much. It's really hard to know what strikers really think of the golden boot. Now, I think they given what Salah and Kane were kind of saying last year, I think they do give it a lot of thought. But for Aguero, surely the title's going to be more important tomorrow. If Man City had already won the title and this was a game against Brighton and he was, 1 or 2 goals off the top, then yeah, sure, he's going to go for that golden boot. But, I mean, surely the most important thing is to win the league. Catch you later, Adam. Make a team now for next season. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. The fixtures for next season are like on June the 14th or 16th or something like that. Mane could also... Yeah, I mean, there's loads of them could go for the golden boot, but I just think for Liverpool, Man City, the most important thing is about winning. Have Sterling already mid-league rivals Aguero? Yep. You're right. Don't go there. Do I see Spurs scoring against Everton? I mean, Everton have been really good defensively. I do think Spurs can nick a goal, though. I mean, they're at home. They're on a high after the Champions League. Who will score? Probably Llorente. But, I mean, I think money has to be on Lucas Moura at the moment. Son to Pogba and Jimenez to Wilson worth a punt for -4. I mean, yeah, it's a nice punt. I mean, Jimenez could do well against Liverpool, but I think Wilson's got the better fixture. With the possibility of rotation, will you definitely take out Son? 100%, yeah. I'm not massively concerned about rotation, to be honest. I think most managers will tell you if that's going to happen. I mean, Spurs have been involved in some pretty big end-of-season scores. I don't know if Spurs versus Everton is going to be a goal fest, though. Don't know. Could be quite tight. What's up, Mark? Don't forget, if you haven't already, vote on the polls, top right-hand corner. Click the little eye. It'd be much appreciated. We'll go through them in a bit. Cheers, Macwin. Enjoy your summer too. Good luck in 38. Sterling out for Salah to block. I mean, how many points are you blocking? I don't know about that. Because, I mean, Sterling's a really good option. What if he brings Sterling in? That'd be a killer. Why am I playing Jimenez over Jota? I mean, that is a good question, I'll be honest. Because Jota's been in such good form, but I think Jimenez is my man. He's been so good all season. Going for him. I actually I don't really have a massively good reason why I'm doing it other than loyalty. Everton won't have Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin less goal scorers. Yeah, good point actually. I forgot about the Calvert-Lewin thing, but I saw the Richarlison one earlier. Canchap, thanks very much. 14 points behind. Okay. It's going to be... I'm going to have to think about this. 14 points behind mini rival. He has Pogba and Sterling. You have Aguero and Mane. Nice. Okay, so I think you're probably up. Which one? Ooh, which one should I triple captain? Also, Lucas Moura or Fraser in for Son. Oh, the Moura versus Fraser one. I do not like. I'd probably side of. See, Lucas is at home, which I like. But Everton have been tough. Whereas Palace have some defensive issues. I'm going to say Fraser, but I think it's really close. So for me, if you're triplet captaining, like 14 points, you could get that through your triple captain alone. So you've got to go with whoever you think will score more between Aguero and Mane. I wouldn't pick, like I'm picking Mane because of a differential. I wouldn't do that with triple captain because if Aguero scores a couple, then you're already getting that. If he's not got the triple captainship, then you're sorted. So I think Aguero is probably the more favourable one's captain this week, even though I'm going Mane. Probably go Mane. I should have a disclaimer saying I can change any whatever decisions I make now. Punt on Vardy, not the worst thing given how good he's been. Hazard out for a hit for Salah captain. So, like I said earlier, Sarri has said that players might be rested, and Hazard did play 120 minutes, I think. We've seen him rested after games before, and they're pretty much in top 4. They are in top 4, right? I think they're 1 point ahead of Spurs. Yeah, so Chelsea have guaranteed top 4. So, if you think Salah's the one for captain, yeah, I think a hit might be okay for that. Aguero loves an old last day goal. I mean, does he though? Apart from that, obviously massive one he scored. Has he scored lots of other ones? Can't remember. Punt on Salah captain. I mean, is Salah captain a punt? I mean, it is compared to Man City captaincy, probably. I mean, if Salah's a punt, then I like it. Not sure about Ings this week because I think Redmond will come back in. So if Long plays, could be those two up front, maybe. And Chelsea have to, Chelsea have got a friendly in the USA before they have to go to the Europa League final, which is also miles away. So yeah, that might be coming to their thinking. Although I suppose he could rest Hazard in the friendly. Definitely not getting Maguire. Could Greenwood come in for Rashford? Yeah, that's the one thing I'm just not convinced about, which what probably puts me off Greenwood. I think Rashford will probably start. Now Rashford could play wide, but I'm not sure that's going to happen with Lukaku out. To be honest, do I think Hazard will start Sunday? Difficult to say, of course. Do I think he'll start on Sunday? It's just an away game. Just played 120 minutes. Let's just say I wouldn't be that confident, I don't think, if I owned him. But I also don't think I'd be... I also don't think I'd drop him. I don't know if I'm that sure he won't start. I'd probably be worrying about it quite a lot, but I would probably keep him if I owned him. Why is Pogba hyped so much? Because Man Utd are playing Cardiff. Basically, that is it. And if you think his performance is going to be poor, excuse me, then you shouldn't get him. Zaha or Wilson for Gameweek. Something's drawing me to Wilson this week, so I think I'll go for him. Been good away as well. Are we sure Pogba will start? I'm pretty sure, yeah. I don't know if I'm that sure. Yeah, basically, that's all I can say. If I owned Hazard, I'd probably be worried about his start, but not worried enough that I would sell him. Chong or McTominay for Gameweek 38. Oh god, I got to apologise for the yawning. I would just be worried about who's going to start. I mean, McTominay you'd imagine will start, but unless you get confirmation Chong's going to start, it seems like a punt too far. Yeah, I mean, I can easily get Sterling in if I want to. I just don't know if I'm going to. Even without Lacazette, I can do Eriksen and Son to Sterling and whoever. But yeah, Arsenal away record is poor, but Lacazette's shots last 4 not been bad. Not been bad in the box, at least. Hazard to Salah for a -4. I would be quite tempted, yeah. Especially if you're going to captain him. I'm not 100% sure about hits in the last week, though, to be honest. But if you're going to captain him, then I can probably start to get behind that. If you're not going to captain him, then I'm not so sure. My God, I'm so sorry. How many teams have I not owned a single player this season? I'm guessing you haven't had a Fulham player. I don't think I have. Will Llorente start? I think he will, yeah. Although someone did say, I think it was Business Cat, did say that Lamella was back. We'll do the polls in a minute and I'll tell you exactly what they're like. I haven't kept any players all season, not a single one. Like, I've got Foster, who I think I started the season with because, let's be honest, it's FPL. You always have to start with Foster. I transferred him out at one point, so... I think Hazard will stay at Chelsea. I think this season might be the one that he goes, but like he's wanted to go, and there's been rumours he's going to go for so long, every season. So this isn't anything new, but you know he's getting to the point of his career now where if he's going to make the move, he has to kind of go for it to have a good few years there. And to be fair to him, he's been pretty loyal to Chelsea, and he hasn't really kicked up, at least from the outside. It doesn't look like he's kicked up much of a fuss to try and leave. So. Yeah, this could be the time though. No, we'll do the polls now. If you haven't already, before I just quickly do that. Definitely what I'm saying. Click a like on the button. The like on the button? Click the like button if you're enjoying the stream. Sorry, Jesus. I really need to go to sleep. If you did Lacazette to Wilson captain, is that enough to do Son Sterling? Yeah. Means I'm keeping Eriksen though. Maybe I should keep Eriksen. Wilson captain, I mean that is ballsy. I don't know what's got into me, I'm so sorry. Right, polls. Let's get them done. Okay. Refresh him. Red Bull, hell no. Okay. So your game week 38 captains. So just like the Fantasy Football Scout poll, Man City are out on top, although not by quite as much. Sterling is top for ours, 24%. 22% for Aguero. 17% Mane, only 16% for Salah, and 19% for someone else. So Liverpool boys definitely much lower. I guess it's Wolves. People are worried about that. But Wolves don't keep many clean sheets. Yes, they can nick points off the top 6, but they don't score many clean sheets. Or keep many clean sheets. Best Son replacement, Pogba, top 35%. Redmond, 28%. Fraser only 13%, Bernardo Silva only 10%, and 11% for someone else. So Pogba the favourite, but not Redmond's not too far behind. Best cheap forward for Gameweek 38. Wilson and Zaha take the top 2 spots. Wilson 41%. Zaha 36%. Then someone else 8%. Arnautovic 7%. And Mitrovic only 5%. So Wilson just about winning, but Zaha very close. People liking him this week. Who will win the league? Man City, massive 81%. There's 18% that voted who are all Liverpool fans. You never know. Maybe City will bottle it. Bottle it. I don't like that word actually, but you know what I mean. Maybe they just won't win. Is Mason Greenwood a viable punt? 80% say no. I tend to agree unless you've really got nothing, absolutely nothing to lose, because you just don't know if he's going to start. Yes, he could play, but that could be a sub appearance, so you'd be put off by that. Am I going to wait for the Anfield Express? I'm basically going to wait until as long as possible to make those transfers. This is the last like normal stream I would do before a game week, but there'll be 3 on Sunday. One at 1:30, one at 2:50 for the games, and then one in the evening, probably about 8:30 or 9. You have had a, oh yeah, Kamara, of course. I wonder if there's a player. I don't know if I've had a Cardiff player. Have I had Camarasa? Oh, I have had a Cardiff player. I had is it Danny Ward? So I've had a Cardiff player. Let me have a look. I've had a Huddersfield player. I've had Schindler, famously. Lacazette, Bournemouth. I've had King, Brighton, obviously, Burnley. Don't think I've owned a Burnley player. I never had Barnes. Don't think. Never had Chris Wood. Don't think I had any of their midfielders or defenders. So I don't think I've had a Burnley player. Chelsea, yeah. Palace, yeah. Wan-Bissaka, of course. Everton, Richarlison, Fulham, Kamara, as you said, Huddersfield, Schindler, Leicester, Maddison, Liverpool, obviously, Man City, obviously, Man United, Sanchez, Newcastle, Rondon, Southampton. Better Southampton. Bednarek, I've got him right now. Spurs, yes, still got them. Watford, DFA, West Ham, Arnautovic, and Wolves, obviously. So I think, did I start the season with Peltier? No, I bet I did, didn't I? He was cheap. Yes, I did. So who else did I say? Cardiff I have. I don't think I've owned a Burnley player. I think that's the only one. And yeah, I owned Ward anyway. The one and only Shane Long, I love it. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, there's more streams coming on Sunday, so we'll leave this one a bit shorter than normal, although coming up to the hour-ish mark. Just want to say thanks to everyone for tuning in for the whole of this season. Hit a like if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated for the last stream. Thanks for all your support. Still be going next season. There'll be more to come, more stream. Well, there won't be more streams. There'll be the same streams. But yeah, I'm looking to kind of. Oh, is the stream offline? That's really weird. I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope that doesn't happen on Sunday. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there then. Thanks very much. And I will catch you soon.